I am 18 hours into DMM, and I already have access to make brews when we get supplies, being 82 herblore. As this is my first long-term-ish goal, I'm at loss for what to do next. I decided to make some clockwork so that I could do some birdhouse runs. This will supply us crushed nests for the brews, but I still need toad flax, and I wanted to get to the farming guild to do those, but I still don't have access to fairy rings. Since it was 2:30 AM Eastern time, most of the Europeans were asleep, and I figured I want to get as far as I can before people start waking up again. The 3 random items that I needed from this quest were an Avantoe, Irit Leaf, and a Blue Dragon Scale. Not really ideal, but I'm making this my top priority. I made my way towards the Edgeville dungeon to kill some Chaos Druids for the herbs, and the Blue Dragon Scale wouldn't be a problem to get, it would just be quite the run in Taverley since I'm not 70 agility yet. Some clips got lost here, but Fairy Tale Part 1 is complete. And then I started Fairy Tale Part 2, and I had to wait 5 minutes while logged out to continue the quest. While logged out, I did some thinking about what I could do to help the team. Most importantly, fairy rings are about to be unlocked, so I can start farming contracts in hopes to get toadflax seeds for brews. I'm not really ever expecting anybody from any team to ever show up at the farming guild, given how annoying farming is to train without relics, especially on a 1-week limited game mode. All crops still take the same amount of time to grow as a normal game, so it's overall just not fun to a lot of people. So starting off with a cabbage contract, I guess I'll be back in 40 minutes. In the meantime, the team spoke about somehow getting B0aty to 84 crafting for Black D'hide, and eventually 86 plus for Zenites. I knew the perfect way I could contribute to this. I am going to gem mine for us to get crafting XP. The underground gem mine was recently updated to only require medium diary to be used, which is fairly low requirements. However, when you look at the medium diary, who the heck else is going to be doing these things in a 1-week long game mode? We need to find a gout tuber, and we need 100% favor in this minigame. The minigame favor is not boosted, so it's the same speed as a normal game. Nobody else is going to want to do this. This is my first time finding a gout tuber without alts, and my chat actually taught me that doing dense jungles and always having a snake attack you is the best way so that the monsters that pop out cannot hit you. Oh my god, poor Kazar just saw me. I am not returning back there tonight. I took a few hour nap and woke up the next morning to finish my farming contract, which gave me fruit tree seeds. This was yet another wall for the Kourend diary. I had to grow a fruit tree, which takes 16 hours. This puts my days somewhat on hold, but also allows me to work on other things, just keeping in the back of my mind that I need to be ready to gem mine exactly 16 hours from now. With the new day, I decided to jump right back into the gout tuber grind. I was still skeptical that this was the best way to farm a gout tuber solo, but only 5 minutes in. But whenever I used to do gout tubers, I would... Never mind, doesn't matter, that method works. After that, it was time to finish off 100% favor. The best way to go about this is killing spiders for 1-2% each kill, which I guess means free combat XP for me, although it is insanely slow. And finally, 100% favor is complete. The gout tuber is complete. Now, it's just a matter of waiting an extra 13 hours for my fruit tree to grow. Now, I don't know what I want to do. With 13 hours to spare, I have to find something. So I took a look ahead at a Grandmaster quest, Song of the Elves, and looked at the requirements. The skills didn't seem too bad, so I started working on those. I thought 70 smithing would have been one of the hardest, so while 3-ticking iron ore for 70 mining, I decided to superheat every single ore that I received and bank it at the nearby chest. I wasn't perfect when it came to mining, but I was purposely losing ticks knowing that I'd have to superheat this ore elsewhere, if I didn't do it here. Knowing that the looting bag could be used everywhere, that was an extra 28 iron bars per trip. And I mean, I'm not bringing any food in hopes that nobody else has access to this island, as it is locked behind 100 kudos and the quest Bon Voyage, both of which nobody should want to bother doing on only day 2. 70 mining is done, and now I'm finishing this last inventory of iron bars as it's still needed in order to hit 70 smithing. I never thought I'd see it, but my training method for 70 smithing is actually iron plate bodies, the DMM mode way. And now 70 smithing is done. After that, the Brugers got worried about our ranging levels, so I offered to hunt some Great Chins for the team. If you didn't already watch my Iron series, you should know that Great Chins are significantly faster than Reds before you unlock the diary or Prif Red Chins. After that, I got started on the Prif questline, including Roving Elves, Morning's End Part 1, and then I only just started Morning's End Part 2. I wasn't ready to do the whole quest yet. After that, I did some 2-tick teaks assuming nobody would find me for level 71 woodcutting. And 71 woodcutting was a skill requirement for the quest Grim Tales, which we wanted to do. The logic behind this quest is the farming XP reward, and there is no real way to grind farming in Deadman. Tithe counts as an instance, so you do not gain any XP in it. The only ways to get instant farming XP are through XP lamps or quest rewards, plus 200k farming XP, and that is 3 farming levels to go. While getting random fletching XP after that, I had some thinking to do. I was at the end of Morning's End Part 2, and because I didn't have a death talisman, I had to find 50 items to get one. Nobody likes this part of the quest. So I spent the next hour or so running around RuneScape getting all of these random items. It was finally time to bring them all in. To save inventory space, I decided to put 27 items in a looting bag and then just destroy it while I'm over there. I just ate my fucking kebab! I grabbed another one along with the rest of the items, and then I made my way to attempt to finish the quest. And of course, I accidentally brought a rotten apple instead of a rotten tomato. Whoops. All of the food in the bag disappeared when I destroyed the bag anyway, so I was bound to make 2 trips regardless. So in a way, I guess this is fine. Another trip in, I finally got the Death Talisman and we can finish this quest. Morning's End Part 2 completed. Now we just have to finish 70 farming. I was waiting for something before 70 farming, and in that downtime, I decided to do Tears of Guthix for fun since I was still level 33 Slayer. It instantly got me to level 52. Remember that fruit tree we started to grow? That was all still the same morning. The Kourend medium diary would give me the final XP lamp for 70 farming. So I was still waiting the last 2 hours before it was grown, just doing random stuff. That was until we took a look at the item requirements for Song of the Elves, and with only 1 hour until 70 farming, I needed to get a Catentine seed. I think this is an item requirement that most Iron Men don't really think of, because we usually have an extra one by the time we're doing Soat. The Runite bar is a tough item requirement that I remember thinking about twice in my Iron, but the Catentine seed I just already had. Thankfully, the team had a Runite bar from PVM, so I just started hyper-focusing this seed. I completed my farming contract and unfortunately only got 3 Toadflax seeds, but at least those translate to brews. My best way of grinding a Catentine seed was pickpocketing master farmers at a nearly 1 in 3k rate. Being tick perfect, it's possible to pickpocket 3,000 times an hour, so this technically isn't that bad. However, I do still fail because I don't have the early diary done, and I mean, going 2 times dry is perfectly possible and would add a whole extra hour to the grind. So I let my team know, and everybody decided to help me out with this seed run. Sick Nerd did an entire Necryal task in the Slayer Tower and got every single herb seed besides the Catentine, which was a 1 in 109 drop rate. After that, B0aty made his way to kill those same tower Necryals but off task just in hopes to get this drop. At the same time, Donator was just pulling up to Giant Mole to try to get the seed from there, and then, after 200 plus Necryals, we finally got the drop. Now that we have all of the items for Song of the Elves, it's just in time for me to check my fruit tree and finish off 70 farming. I only needed the first lamp for 70 farming, so I decided to put the second on crafting just in case I need to level that later on. It was finally time. Being roughly 38 hours since release, we were about to walk into Prifddinas, likely being the first person there. It was my first time doing the defending the fort without blood barrage, and I did scuff it unfortunately. The second time, however, we did manage to defend the fort, and it was finally time for the final boss. At least, that's what my tired brain thought, so I teleported to RD and re-geared and got ready. Made my way back, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I need to kill S-Salt first. The good news is that if I got my prayers 100% right this whole fight, I would not take any damage. And shockingly, we did succeed. Now it was time for the final boss, and thankfully I didn't have to rebank. This was also my first time doing this boss without Blood Barrage or Phoenix, so I wasn't really sure how doable this would be. Thankfully, Sick Nerd has been smashing the Slayer grind, so we did already have a trident, which I asked to borrow during the fight. We got so close, and then for some reason we just didn't hit, so unfortunately we had to go bank. At this point, I was completely out of brews and restores, so I needed to wait for my team to feed me a little. Donator also gave me some upgrades to my magic gear to ensure that I get the next kill. Look at all of my extra brews here. This is the power of Arams. The boss fight was finally done, and I was ready to be the only person in the game in Prifddinas. That quest rewarded me with 800,000 XP and 8 different skills, and now I had this whole area to myself. I got so many total levels from that, not that they matter much, but I mean 84 agility, 77 construction, 77 farming, 86 herbivore, 87 hunter, 77 mining, 77 smithing, and 83 woodcutting. The first thing that I wanted to do while here wasn't necessarily CG like you would expect. I'm not entirely confident in my PKing skills, and a Bofo would only really benefit me since nobody else on my team has access to use it. So I decided to spend my first few hours in Prif hunting red chins for the team. Something else I noticed is that crystal imps will spawn every 30 minutes, and I'm the only one able to grab them. They have a 1 in 18 chance at a Dragonstone amulet, which can be turned into a glory, which would make the gem mining grind so much better, since currently none of us can craft glories. A 90 hunter requirement to catch barehanded? Honestly, it'll be easier to just train to 90 than to go buy butterfly nets, so let's go do that. Here we go, 90 hunter. Now I can barehand crystal imps every 30 minutes. Good luck, Dragonstone Amy. 2 Dragonstones, unlucky. My life the next few hours consisted of hunting red chins and taking a small 1 to 2 minute break to catch a crystal imp twice an hour. Unfortunately, I'm already 98 hunter and still no Dragonstone amulet. Most of the team has been asleep during this grind, so I finished off 99 hunter and they should have a nice red chin count to see when they wake up tomorrow morning. I went to bed and split the chins 4 ways because Skill Specs was already high range from res. We each had 400 chins to throw, so I made my way to Monkey Madness 1 tunnels and threw them there. B0aty also hunted some black chins while I was asleep, because now we had a new plan for the next breach, and we all needed high range. I decided to try chinning at Dark Warriors, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was only an extra 200 black chins for now, but at the very least, I already got to level 81 ranged. Sick Nerd has been doing a fantastic job grinding Slayer for the team, and he has spent his morning grinding us not 1, or not 2, but 5 dark bows for the team. That's right, at breach number 3, our entire team is going to roll up in dark bows, which is why we need to train ranged ASAP. The only thing that we're missing for the dark bows is the ammunition. Of course, we could go in with rune arrows, but why do that when we could potentially have dragon arrows? I'm currently sat at Corrupted Gauntlet just a few hours before the 3rd breach, trying to get a dragon arrow drop. I get 3 rolls on the table per CG kill, so even though it says it's a 1 in 24 drop, it's actually a 1 in 8 chance per kill. It's not that rare. I have been doing tier 2 armor preps, and I only have a total of 100 CG kills across all of my accounts in RuneScape, so I'm still relatively new to this content. This is also my first time doing tier 2 preps, and I have been making a lot of mistakes with the prep part, but I'm finally starting to get it down. Okay, I'm doing kill number 5, looting, good luck. Dragon arrows, I got them. Not only did we get dragon arrows, but we high rolled 97 of them. This is more than enough for all 5 of us for the breach that's coming up in 90 minutes. B0aty gave me some more black chins to throw right before the breach, and I gave him the dragon arrows to split with the team while I go throw the chins. That way we're all prepared. I've grown to like chinning at Dark Warriors. It's relatively safe and a lot less annoying than Monkey Madness 1 tunnels. Of course, the Monkey Madness 2 tunnels would be ideal, but there's no way I'm questing for that right now. 87 range looks like it'll be the final level before the breach, so it's time to finally gear up. We had some extra soft clay from Necrils, so I made us all house tabs before the breach so that we could teleport here. 20 minutes before the breach, we all gathered at Kourend in hopes to snipe somebody who needed to last minute change to Ancient Spellbook.
Alfie!
Unfortunately, we missed our chance to attack Alfie, but we were not done yet. V the victim decided to spawn in at our old spot, but unfortunately, he did teleport just in time. We stayed here for another 5 minutes, and Donator spotted the entire Snakes team coming in here together. Thankfully, I landed my first freeze, and we all ran back towards singles. Now, it was breach time. We were super determined to make use of these dark bows. We really wanted all 5 of us to land a spec and just instantly drop somebody. So we camped near Corp Cave around the time that the breach started. Naturally, we ran into West Ham's team yet again at the breach. It was a little hectic, but thankfully nobody died and we were able to regroup. While rebanking at Castle Wars, unfortunately, Mazhar spawned in and started attacking me. Oh shit, I don't know where my food is. Okay, wait, this might not be good. After about 1 minute of tanking, I went in for the freeze to walk under him to get away. And unfortunately, I forgot to consider that they might have mithril seeds. This was something that I did not really consider beforehand, so I was basically going up to something new. However, my whole team was right behind me. Donator showed up, and I actually have no idea what he did, but he did manage to jump on Mazhar to get him off me, and I got away. We managed to meet up one last time at the breach, and unfortunately, I got picked off by V the victim. While tanking him, the boys were running from someone somewhere and trying their best to save Sick Nerd and B0aty, so I was on my own here. We were in level 36 Wildy, so I was still 6 levels away from a teleport. I was honestly at such a loss for what to do. I was instructed to use the trees to free somebody and hide behind a teleport. So I made my way over there, and having never done this before, this was bound to be messy. Looking back, all I had to do was move 1 tile south, and I think I could have been okay. But in my defense, I had no idea what these lines were. I installed wilderness lines and thought it was a multi-line or something, I don't really know. Now that I knew this line meant a teleport line, all I had to do was freeze V the victim and hide behind a tree where I could teleport. Oh my god, I moved 1 tile too far north or south. I could have just went behind the tree and I would have been fine. Unfortunately, after tanking for 3 minutes, I ran out of restores before I ran out of brews, so there was no way for me to barrage him again. It was kind of over. And as soon as B0aty got here, he maxed a 31 and I died. The good news is that I wasn't risking much, and everybody else got away, so I was the only death this breach. I also learned a couple basic things about escaping, which probably even most of you knew, but I didn't because I don't normally have to escape. Afterwards, I was in Prif, and for the first time since I completed it 14 hours ago, I spotted somebody. MMORPG attacked me. In all honesty, I did not expect him to hit me due to how easy it was to escape here, but it looks like he might not know that. You see, all of Prif is a dangerous area, except for one spot. It is possible to set your respawn to Prif right in the center, and the building right above is the only safe area in the city. As long as the area inside is actually a safe area, it's fine. Yeah, it is. Oh, he doesn't know that. He's getting attacked by guards. He doesn't know that. He's gonna die. Come on. Oh my god. He may have gotten away, but at least we didn't die a second time. Unfortunately, I can't find the clip, but we did eventually roll a Dragonstone Amulet from Crystal Imps, which means I finally had a charge glory, and that of course gives me 3 times the success rate while mining gems. Because I have Kourend Medium Diary, it should be impossible for anybody else to enter this area, so I'm not going to even bother with food or anything. Should worst case scenario happen and I get attacked, we won't even lose that much. I also made a promise to myself to stay on top of herb runs because I have been very lazy with them and we desperately need the brews. I got a little over level 90 mining and then decided it would be a good time to dump all of my gems on B0aty. He needs 86 crafting ASAP for Rings of Suffering, which he's been working on grinding over the last day or so. These gems hopefully should be enough to finish off the last few levels. After that, I didn't have too much to do to help out the team, so I spent some time at CG hoping to get a Bofa or Crystal Armor for the finals. I finished off my 15th kill, and then sure enough, Alfie was outside, so I just dipped for a little. After that, we needed a solely set mushroom from Fossil Island, so I made my way there and got one for a +4 crafting boost. Then, Sicknerd wanted to train some prayer, and to make things easier, because he would have to risk an inventory of bones outside the portal every trip, I offered to run a few inventories of bones. We all just wanted level 77 prayer for augury, and since the chaos altar was kind of dangerous, we decided to just train it in the POH. With Sicknerd having 77 prayer for augury, we started to think about the final. Each team was allowed to have one Venger, and it made the most sense for me to do it. I was happy to do the quest for Lunars, whereas nobody else wanted to, and since avenging was easier than tri-birding, knowing that I had the least PvP experience, well, it really just made the most sense for me to do it, so I began questing for Lunars. And only a couple hours later, Lunar Diplomacy was complete along with Vengeance unlocked. With Lunars now done as well, it was time to do something I've been procrastinating the entire time: train my melee combats. This seems like a great point to end the episode, so I'm going to call it here. Don't forget to like the video if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't. I will see you all for part 3 very soon. Peace out.